We did it, guys. We finally did it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do this on stream. In fact, I did it while just chilling on the couch with the deck you see right here. We got the Masters. In fact, I actually went on an insane win streak. I won 7, lost 1, and then won 2 more, which is why you see a win streak of 2 to get to Masters. As soon as we touched Masters, I did what everyone else does, and we just got right out of it, went right to casuals. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. In fact, what we're going to talk about today is what I experienced in Ultra Ball 4, what my deck was, and some other decks that I want to share with you that you can also use so that way you can get to Masters in these few final days. If you're in Ultra 4 and you're just struggling for like 5 to 10 matches, right? I really think these are the decks that you can use to help you get there. Now, first, I want to talk about what I saw. I saw a ton of Giratina Greninjas, Giratina Dartrix, right? Oricorio's annoying, Charizard, Steamzards, the same deck, the Chomp, which is where I got the idea. It's very aggressive, it's very fast. Matches don't feel like it's taking so long. But one thing that I really want to talk about, and I feel icky, right, guys? I feel so weird for even saying this, but I want to talk about this one card right here, red card. And it's not a good card. It's by far not a good card. However, in this game, when you're like 10 wins away from Masters, I think red card is pretty good, because in a match where if you break your hand or your opponent doesn't break, or your opponent, you know what I'm saying? If your opponent has things that they want and you have a pretty good hand, I noticed that every time I had a very optimal hand, my opponent red carded, there was no chance of winning for me. I would just lose. It's just an instant loss for me. By turn 3 or 4, they get everything they wanted. I had no means of disruption myself, and they won the game, right? So not only does red card like shuffle your hand and get rid of things like rare candy or your evolutions, but it also takes your hand advantage from being 5, 6, 7 and just reduces it back to 3. And I think that's, again, I don't want to say it's a good card because I'm going to get blasted for that. However, I really do think this is the card that got me to Masters along with everything else in this deck. The way I played it was, if I'm going into a deck that has a rare candy or something and they turn 1 Professor Research, I red card them, and 9 times out of 10 those matches led to me winning, right? There's very few times where I actually improved their hand, right? If they did not already have a good hand. So I think with the emergence of rare candy and the way decks are being built currently in this current meta, if you're playing a stage 2 rare candy deck, I think you need something like rare candy. You could stop things like Solgaleo, right? You could stop things like Steamzard, Robat, Archus decks, Greninja decks. It can help you, but it is RNG. It is 100% RNG. And with that, let me share with you guys the full deck list of what I played consistently, and this took me straight there. We have the Gibble with no weakness. We have a single Gabite, a single Cranidos, 2 Skull Fossils, 2 Garchomp Rainbows because your boy likes to wail, 2 Rampardos, that red card, which again, it feels so weird to say, but maybe you guys can let me share your experiences in the comments. I can't be the only one that is like, yo, red card. Like, I lost so many games because my opponent red carded me perfectly, and then I started using red card and I won so many games because of the inclusion of red card. I genuinely don't know. A single communication, 2 rare candies, a Pokeball, a Cape, a Cyrus, a Lily, and 2 researchers. So that's the deck that I ran, right? This is what I did. And in fact, I'm going to share with you some top decks to see how close they really are. So here's the Garchomp EX variation of a Master Ball deck list, and it looks very similar. If you notice, there's a rare candy here. The only difference I see is that they are running double lilies instead of a cape, and an Iono instead of whatever else I had. I don't know if I had a Sabrina, to be honest. So they have Iono in here. I did not choose or opt for an Iono, but on top of that, the other deck list, everything here you're going to see is everything that you're going to be going up against, unfortunately, in Ultra 4. It just is what it is. There is one deck at the end of the video that is super spicy that I think you can definitely use to grind out some wins to get to Master. It is a spicy deck, so if that's what you want, wait to the end. The next one we're going to be talking about is Darkrai Guaranteed. Like, this thing is so annoying, but listen, I would not fault you if this is what you wanted to play to get your final 10 wins. It is a very strong deck list. You got your 2 Darkrai's, your 2 Giratinas, and it's all about supporters. You have a single Mars. You do have a red card. Again, I do want to point out, you're noticing red cards in these Master Ball ranked decks, okay? double potions, a Nurse Joy. This is your sustain. You have your red for damage, a cape, 2 Rocky helmets. Hopefully you don't get Guzma if you're playing this deck. 2 researchers, 2 Pokeballs, and a Sabrina. All in all, a pretty solid deck. This was the #1 deck in the last set, in the last season, and lo and behold, it's still top top deck. Like, it's kind of crazy. This is like, what is it? 50% of Masters is Darkrai Giratina. I can't wait. Maybe Buzzwole will be putting this Darkrai to sleep soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Next is Steamard, and if pay attention real quick, there's another red card here. This is pretty cool. This is I just wanted to share this variation. It's running a Talonflame with a Fletching. I ran this with Turtonator and Kiowa, but this could work as well because you have 2 rare candies. So the rare candy, the second rare candy is always going to be going for your Talonflame, but then 1 rare candy is for your Steamard. And then the other Charmander, if you are trying to get it to your Steamard, you can use Charmeleon to evolve into it. And the reason I like the bird here, the Firebird, is because it just counters Oricorio. It's pretty strong. You have a single Iono, double Lilies, a cape, 2 Pokeballs, 2 researchers, 2 rare candies, a red card of Sabrina, and a red. Pretty solid Steamard. A little spice for you guys that are looking for that spice. But now let's go right back to the meta with Archus, Crobat, and Carnivine. You got a double Zubats here. I've seen some decks with Illimas, and this one is running no Illimas. We have a Cyrus, a Sabrina for Disruption, Iono, a Leaf, a Cape, 2 Pokeballs, 2 rare candies, 2 researchers, and a communication. This is pretty solid. This is an amazing staple. If you lead Carnivine with an Archus on the bench, you're just slapping your opponents for 50. It's pretty strong. And then once you get your Crobat online, that 50 turns into a 80 across every single turn. And that 80 turns into 110 if you have 2 Crobats. Like, it's kind of crazy. This is the damage output on this deck is pretty bananas. You just have to actually pull those cards in order to do that. Hopefully you don't get red carded. Next up is this disgusting deck that runs double Greninja, double Froakie, double Oricorio, and a single Giratina. And in fact, there's some notes here. I guess I can share with you guys the notes and combos of this deck. This one was a really strong deck. I enjoyed playing this during Ultra Ball 3. It really just made my time in Ultra Ball 3 just pass by. I think I actually beat my highest win streak. So currently it's at 12 with this deck. Very consistent. Retreat cost is low, so you can switch waiting for a good card. Cape and Irida helps a lot sometimes. You just have to survive against a DNG. I'm guessing Darkrai Giratina. Play Giratina, but in the mirror match or against Tapu Lele, keep it in your hand. You can win some matches without even using energy, which is kind of nuts. Your worst enemy, though, is Garchomp EX and Rampardos. You can only win if they have a bad hand and draw, which is why your boy was playing a bunch of Garchomp EXs and Rampardos. Not because I saw this note, but because I noticed that was like, as long as I had a great starting hand and I could disrupt my opponents, there's nothing they can do. I get going by turn 3 or 4. I'm winning with the Garchomp. I highly recommend you honestly play that deck list. I wish I recorded some matches for you guys, but again, like I said, I was playing it from the comfort of my couch because apparently I could only go on a loss streak if I stream. But yeah, this deck list is pretty solid too. 2 Cyrus, 2 Capes, a Guzma, Irida, Mars, 2 Pokeballs, 2 Research, and 2 rare candies. Next up, for those grass type enthusiasts, we have single line of Rowlet, Decadui EX, Dartrix. We have double Meowscaradas, 1 Florigato, 2 Sprigatitos, 2 Ericas, 2 Capes, 2 Lilies. The thing about this deck, I hate going up against it because it doesn't matter how much damage you do. They always have Lilies. They always have Capes, and they always have Ericas. So if you're looking for a very consistent, sustainful deck that has a lot of skill in it, this is really fun to play. In fact, I don't think I played it at all, but I genuinely felt like every time I played into it, my opponents were doing some high IQ plays, like the way they were pivoting, the way they were prioritizing energy. Both Pokemon only required 2. They retreat for 1. And if they had the rare candy, deciding is it Decadui or is it Meowscarada? So if you want a deck that can win, can get you to Masters, but also scratches that part of your brain, well, then this might be the deck list for you. All right, and the last meta deck, but we still have one more, the spice, don't worry, is Scargaleo. It's the double Skarmories, it's the double Solgaleos, it's Cosmogs, it's 1 Cosmomom or whatever it's called. This thing's annoying because every time I go up against it, they always have the cards they need, which is why the rare candy, not the rare candy, the red card for me was a must, because I think as soon as I included red card, Every time I went into a Scargaleo and I had red card and I red carded them after they researched, they never had the cards they needed. It's like it's programmed in the game. Hey, they're playing the new EX. Let's give them every card they need. I'm obviously making that up. That's a conspiracy theory, but that's what it feels like. And I'm sure some of you guys can relate to that feeling. So I really enjoyed red carding them and disrupting their hands. Giant Capes, a Giovanni Iono, double Pokeball, double Research, double Rare Candies, double Rocky Helmets, and a Sabrina. There you go. That's the final meta deck list. Every single one of these decks you're going to see. One that you might not see that is actually pretty spicy is this one. It is running the Psychic Toolbox variation with the Purple Choreo and the Tapu Lele, but on top of that, it's Togekiss, Togepi, and a single Togetic running double Cynthias, so that way you can do maximum damage and just pretty much shred your opponents. You have double Capes here. You also have a Lily to recover. You go to 160 with your Togekiss. If you take damage, you recover another 60. You have Iono to help your hand. You're never using Iono to disrupt your opponents. You only ever Iono to help you get better cards, right? You have double Pokeballs, double Rare Candies, and double Research. But there you guys have it. Those are all the deck lists that you will be going up against and that you could also just take and use to get the Masters. This is not the time to be spicy. You got a few days, okay? That's it. Being spicy is at the start of the month like me, and that's how you get a really poor win rate percentage in ranked when you just play Spice. But now's the time to play the winning deck lists that are just proven to be good in Masters, depending on your matchup. You don't know what your matchup is. So depending on the day, and if you're lucky, I really think the Garchomp EX was my personal favorite for my play style. But maybe you're more of a control variant. Maybe you want something like Ramp or Darkrai Giratina. Maybe you just haven't showered in a month. Maybe you want to do Arceus, Carnivine, Crobat. Maybe you just want to bully some kids. I don't know. Maybe you just don't like people having fun and you want to play the Oricorio, Giratina, Greninja deck variant. Either way, these are the deck lists for you. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.